With me this angle, and you already see a very small part of my body, but I can still shoot you. And let's say you will surprise me. By nature, I will do this movement.
Movement in Tarkov is a lot more realistic than many would like to admit. This video is a little different than the usual guides, and I want to preface this by saying I'm no expert in any of these systems. This is strictly just how I personally want the game to be. I'll further explain after a message from our sponsor. Opera GX is a browser created with gamers in mind. I've been running it as my daily driver and it's been great. Swapping over from a previous browser has never been easier. You can use the quick import tool to transfer over your existing browser history, bookmarks, and cookies. If you're a heavy extensions user, in addition to Opera's own extensions, you can also install Chrome extensions with the Chrome extensions add-on. With the add-on, you can use any extension in your Opera browser. After setting up the core of your browsing experience, you can also customize your browser in ways which aren't possible in other browsers. Just go to your setup and navigate to animated wallpapers. Notice how this page is super bright and burns your gamer eyes? Don't worry, just head on over to Force Dark Mode, which is still in beta, so compatibility will be improved in the future, but the state that it's in right now is perfectly usable on most web pages. Now select your wallpaper of choice and enjoy your experience. As a Tarkov player, you probably don't have many people sliding into your DMs, but don't worry. With the GX Flow feature, you can seamlessly slide into your own DMs. Sending messages will send push notifications to your phone so you can remind yourself to do stuff, but I like to share files between my devices as it's the easiest way to send a picture over from one device to another. Just like Desktop GX, there's a GX corner for mobile so you can easily keep up with the latest game release dates. Link to the browser will be down below so you don't have to navigate like what I'm doing here. Many argue that Tarkov's combat is unrealistic because of its movement. It's too fast and arcadey, causing fights that doesn't happen in the military. But they aren't accepting the fact that in the military, simplicity is key. You're trained to do the most simple and repeatable actions so you don't mess up in a life or death situation. This doesn't apply to a video game. Many praise games like Squad and Arma because their movement systems are balanced around realistic combat. They're slow and sluggish to force the player into applying military-like techniques. But in reality, a human body can move a lot faster.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You can argue that the standardized combat loadout is 40 kgs, which is what slows you down. Yes, you're right, and yes, we already have a system like that in Tarkov, where the more weight you have, the slower you move. But good players can Ferrari peek you because they toss all their extra weight before a fight. We don't wear half the stuff on this list in game, and what we do wear, we toss in a fight. Doing a quick search, this guy says his lowest kit is around 2 kilos, weapons not included. Let's say 8 kilos give or take, 10 pounds with a weapon. That's just a tiny bit over the weight of an airsoft kit, and those guys fly around the field like they're playing Tarkov. But does this happen in real military? No, because you care about your only life. Is it achievable with your body? Yes, people move quickly all the time in any sport. You can also say in real life you'll never throw away your bag, so you're stuck with 40 kg, so it's unrealistic to do it in Tarkov. But the freedom of choice to toss what will weigh us down in a fight is what makes Tarkov more immersive than Squad and Arma. It was never about what people do in real life, it's about what people can do. Let's use a real life example. Videos on Project Gecko was recommended to me in my YouTube feed, and after watching a couple, I realized that a lot of decent players are already using techniques like this in game.
With me this angle, and you already see a very small part of my body, but I can still shoot you. And let's say you will surprise me. By nature, I will do this movement.
Alright, got them both. Unlike the usual wide swing tactics popularized in most militaries and what most realism lovers want to be forced on the players, Project Gecko focuses on concealing your body and acquiring information with your eyes, and flinching back if you notice danger. This works because the natural human response to danger is to run away. It theoretically means you'll always be faster flinching back to process the information you just gained with your eyes rather than to identify and then choosing a response while you're fully peeked. Which in turn also means your action of flinching back will be faster than your enemy's reaction and then trigger pull. In simpler words, they can't shoot you because you're faster than their reaction time. You see how fast he's moving in this clip? Pay attention to how fast he can peek and unpeek. His gear is similar to a loadout in Tarkov. A rig, a gun, and that's it. Here he mixes up peeking high and peeking low and wins the fight, which is what we do in Tarkov with our standing lean check and then crouch lean peek. If he's using these techniques in real life and his opponent is having troubles reacting while holding the angle, this is exactly what should happen and what currently does happen in Tarkov. The speed of leaning does not need to be nerfed. However, right hand lean spamming is broken in game at the moment because of a desync issue. I'll explain later, keep watching. Let's talk about speed. I can't find a source, but somebody a couple years ago measured, did the math, and our PMC ran as fast as Usain Bolt. Our leans are obviously a bit faster than how fast someone can peek and unpeek in real life. Squad and armor are slower in these aspects, making the game feel more grounded. So is everything being faster a problem? In real life, the average time it takes to break a car can vary between 0.7 to 3 seconds. The fastest sport in the world, Formula 1, the average time to take off, removing Yuki Tsunoda because his pit lane start is an anomaly, is 0.23 seconds. These guys are the cream of the crop drivers in our society, where a tenth of a second can mean winning or losing. Want to see what a loser living in his mom's basement can do behind a computer screen? I'm 30% faster than those F1 guys, and I'm pretty sure they'll get lower than me if they're on the same setup behind the screen. Comparing real life reaction speeds to in-game behind the screen isn't fair. A fight I might lose with finger on trigger in an airsoft game while holding an angle, I can probably easily win behind the screen in Arma and Squad. Which is why we need to keep the faster movement. Having faster than life movement, but scaling it to maintain the ratio between real life reaction time and real life movement makes the game more immersive, and makes fights more fair. Many people hate the Chad meta of running across doorways and free looking, claiming people are running way too fast and this shouldn't be possible. They say it's unrealistic and you'll get shot trying, but watch this clip.
So depending upon, because of the angles that you have to shoot, somebody could run by there and you're not going to be able to pull your trigger fast enough as they go by, unless they're walking right towards you.
This retired Navy SEAL confirms that running across a doorway is supposed to be unreactable. In an airsoft game, you can even see this guy running down a hallway past doorways, like it's dorms. Then taking a right hand peek because he's right hand dominant. Yes, I know you can swap hands in real life, I do too when I play. Real soldiers don't run across doorways while free looking because they don't know what kind of dangers are down the hall. It's not worth risking their life, but in a video game no one cares about their life, which is why this happens. Emulating a real life 60-40 fight for the defender to also be 60-40 in game is what BSG needs to strive for. Unlike Squad and Arma, where holding an angle is practically a guaranteed win. Going back to military simplicity really quickly. One of the biggest cons of Project Gecko is its complexity and footwork. If you mess up and overexpose your body in a high stress real life scenario, you die. Which is why in most militaries, tactics and techniques like these are underexplored. But if you train hard and don't mess up, it's a really effective system, just like quick peeks in Tarkov. You can let go of all your keys to decelerate faster, but it requires a specific timing. Don't mistake this for known inertia. This isn't what's happening, you're still decelerating, just faster. And a specific timing is needed to do quick information peeks. This is similar to what they do in Project Gecko in terms of footwork and risk versus reward. So in my opinion, quick peeking needs to stay and should stay for immersiveness. If I can quickly check angles with Project Gecko and Airsoft, I should also be able to do the same in-game. Airsoft is used as an example here because I'm willing to risk messing up and getting hit by plastic toys. However, I'm not willing to mess up and get shot by a real bullet, so I won't be doing something as complicated as Project Gecko in real life. And this is just like how you can choose to risk your loot over peeking, trying to quick peek, and dying for it in Tarkov. Or you can choose to back off, stay alive, and play safe. This gives the decision to the player, unlike Squad and Arma where quick peeking isn't even an option, and it forces you to play inside the box. So quick peeking is fine, but low risk, high reward, unrealistic actions need to go. Lean spamming is heavily in the PvP meta at the moment because of how safe and easy it is to do unlike quick peeks. This is caused by an animation desync. Most of the time you die and you barely see a pixel on your screen, sometimes just their elbow. I don't think it's a network desync because if it's a network desync you just see a delayed head poke out after you die. Now this can easily be fixed by syncing hitbox to animation. But even after fixing the syncing issues, spamming crouch leans can lead to results similar to quick leans but without the risk. While simply slowing the speed of your lean will remove options for the player which affects things negatively as mentioned earlier. We don't want to do this. So we have to apply a system where you still have the maximum speed but you can't spam. A fatigue system can be used, seen in other games such as COD for jumping or CSGO for crouching. There's essentially a cooldown for jumping and crouching in these games, and if you press it again during the cooldown, it'll result in a drastically slower movement and restart the cooldown. I think it's a fair system where after a fast crouch lean, you'll give the opponent time to react, so they can make their own choices such as keeping the angle, repositioning, which you can hear, pushing, which you can also hear, or one step further, faking a reposition and going back to the same angle. You also have the option to use the slower lean during the cooldown if you feel like it's a good risk to take, which will make fights a lot more interesting rather than both players just sitting down and mashing E. I've said this on stream before, limiting movement and forcing players to fight like it's real life military combat isn't realistic. Having realistic movement is to have systems in place that can imitate and emulate what you can do with the human body in real life. What the PvP meta evolves into could very well contain faucets that are unexplored in real life combat because of its risk versus reward. Just because it doesn't happen in real war doesn't mean it isn't possible. This video took a lot longer than I thought it would, but the topics I've covered are important, and I hope BSG or Nikita will somehow see this. I'll be back on with more regular uploads. If I disappear again, I probably came up with an idea similar to this one. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe for stuff like this and unusual guides and gun builds, follow me on Twitch and maybe Twitter too, drop a comment below because I know a lot of you have strong opinions about movement that are probably opposite of mine. Thanks for watching.